30.
Let's
Nice.
do it.
All right. There seems to be an echo. Hold on, let me see. Uh, let me see, let me see. Okay. We are live with the pursuit of anime. And you are joined here by myself, Raven, and Teddy.
Hello.
Yeah. And today we're here to talk about how anime inspires us to be who we are. Um, Now, I know from my experience, anime has been pivotal to kind of shaping the way I think, the way I thought when I was much younger. I remember watching Naruto and really agreeing or relating to the way that Naruto felt like an outcast, felt different, felt like people didn't notice him, and he had all this potential, the potential to be a Hokage, yeah, but nobody really saw that in him, but like very few people did, and he was sad, he was a little angry, a little rebellious, and I remember as a kid, I really that really resonated with me, and I was able to connect with that, really root for him, and it definitely shaped the way I thought and made me feel a little more confident when I was a kid, seeing that this person was fighting really hard for their dreams, and seeing how they slowly uh, came to turn everybody around, and people started loving them. Now,
You
me
know
as
what's
an
funny though?
yeah,
I like that you started with Naruto because I also watched it as a kid. I feel old. I know that there's some people they're getting into it now. Like, oh, it's the best thing around. Like, oh man, there's so much out there. But with Naruto, right? I always found his story to be inspirational because it's like you said, he's very misunderstood, right? Because he has a demon inside of him. People think that he is the demon, and so his whole life, like his life journey, is basically dedicated to proving those people wrong, like proving his worth, not just to himself but to his village. That's why that very iconic line of his, "I'm gonna be Hokage." When people they look at that on surface level, they just think, "Oh, he's just typical shonen MC." He has a goal and so on. It's like, no, it's much deeper than that. It goes back to the root of who he is and how he's perceived, right? But he was never that relatable to me. You know who was?
who
Rock Lee. I thought at some point that the story was going to revolve around Naruto and Rock Lee when I was younger. I was foolish, of course. I didn't know any better, but I thought it would be, especially like, so the first thing was his story, right? The fact that he doesn't have any affinities for two out of the three basic fighting techniques that ninjas have, right? He doesn't have ninjutsu or genjutsu. He's only all taijutsu. Seeing that man dedicate himself to the training that he did, I don't know about other kids. I remember when I watched that, I was like, I need to go do some push-ups. I need to do something because this dude is out here fighting his fate essentially, and he's proving that you don't need to be born with amazing amounts of talent or be gifted to be somebody, right? And that's why his fight against Gara, besides just being the most gas, one of the most gas fights in all of anime history, in my opinion, it also spoke to me so deeply because it was like, this guy, he's. Would you agree that Gara is a genius?
Gara, yeah.
Yeah. So he's basically fighting a genius, and the odds are stacked against him. I'm talking like if we're doing like a UFC fight and betting, if we're into betting, the odds were not in Rock Lee's favor. Right? Everybody was like, "Oh no, he's about to get bodied." And in fact, at the very beginning, it seems that way because he's doing all these moves, and Gara is not even moving. He's not moving physically, and emotionally, he's not moved either. He's just standing there like, "Bro, I don't know what you're doing, right?"
Yeah.
But when Rock Lee takes up the weights, oh God, to this day, every time I see this scene, I get shivers. It doesn't matter if I just came back from the gym. When I see that, I feel the need to go back because that's just so raw. It's like it's not just a hobby or something that you do. Okay, no, that is his day-to-day life. He goes around, he walks around with those weights all the time. So when he took them off, I was like, oh God, oh, it's about to be so insane.
Yeah.
And everything that happened after that, and the fact that even unconscious, this man was still willing to go. That's the amount of drive, right? That's why for me, Rockley, oh man, he was truly inspirational, and I'm kind of sad how he got done in the story later on, because I felt like he had a great potential to be a inspirational figure for a lot of people, and just a compelling character, right, with a compelling story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, anime can really inspire you to be who you are, and this can kind of apply to any art form. Really, it doesn't have to be just anime, but of course,
absolutely.
we are the pursuit of anime, so we talk anime. And yeah, I really related to Naruto growing up. And as I shaped into a man now, I feel like more and more I relate to Luffy from One Piece. I remember growing up feeling very introverted, thinking like, I'm almost even antisocial, you would say, yeah. But
Mhm.
now as an adult, kind of realizing that that's just a lie. I feel like, and I mean, this is just kind of a theory of mine, but I feel like, and I've felt like this for a while, that all these labels of like extrovert, introvert, they are just that, they're just labels and they don't actually exist. They're constructed in your mind. And if you think about them too much, you can really like pigeonhole yourself into them. So, for example, the basic definition of an introvert or an extrovert is like you get your energy from being away from other people, you're an introvert. If you get your energy from being around people, you're an extrovert. But in my case, and from what I see, like, if you're around the certain people, you'll always get the energy, right? You'll always get that energy. So, like, there can be a balance, and a lot of people call that ambiversion, where you enjoy your alone time, but you also enjoy spending time with other people. I've realized that in my life, where I thought I was antisocial growing up, I resonate more with Luffy nowadays as a man, as an adult, or Ichigo. Where I love meeting new people. I do enjoy my times where I'm in solitude, where I'm just alone around the house, or even just walking alone in the city. But there's no greater joy in life than meeting new people, making new connections. And whenever I watch One Piece, whenever I see Luffy, some of the hardest hitting, most emotional moments of the story for me are when he's fighting for his friends, or when he's meeting new people, and when they have the party at the end. And there's a reason for that. You know, I feel like One Piece has definitely shaped and allowed me to kind of meditate on that aspect of myself. And it's just another example of these art forms like anime, films, TV shows, even just like paintings. They're not just something to look at and just like be like, "Oh, that's pretty. Let me take a picture. Or let me post on Instagram that I'm watching the OG season of Naruto, so I can get brownie points because I'm an anime fan." But these are things that we can actually meditate on and kind of use as tools to get us thinking and provoke thought. And that's kind of what this channel is all about. Teddy, do you think, because you said you resonated a lot with Rock Lee growing up now, how about now as a man? Is there any character recently that you've seen in the past, like, 5 years or so, that you've really resonated with and they've inspired you in some way, kind of the way that like Luffy or Ichigo recently has been inspiring me?
Um, Let me think, because I've
You've
been
been on the
exposed
bench.
I've been on the bench, man. There's been a lot. Like I could say one or two names right now, but then as soon as we're done, I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot this guy and that guy and this guy, because that happens for people who don't really follow us that closely. That's something that happens all the time. But if I had to say, man, um, honestly, I don't really have um I don't know, like a particular character or characters that I find inspiring these days. Is more so character traits that I find here and there in different people, that I'm like, okay, you know what, this I can use this. This can fuel me, because um I'm in a place now where I'm I feel like all the inspiration and motivation I could have gotten from any single character, I've already gotten. Right,
Yeah.
like in the past, I feel like there were a lot. Like you can name any MC, you can name Luffy, you can name freaking Saitama, even like there were many different characters at different points in time in my life where I felt like they were really motivating me. Like Saitama with his training regimen, people made fun of it. I was like, about 80% of America needs that right now.
Yeah.
So
They can't
stop
even do it.
laughing. They can't even do it. Exactly. So it's
So
like you think this is funny, this is silly, but no, this is real. Like, not saying that you have to do that every single day, but there's something about that discipline, right? Like knowing that you're kind of sacrificing certain what you call it, instant gratification for the sake of a better version of yourself, right? So there's something like that with every character. But if I have to say these days, it's two things. It's two particular moments, two particular incidents. One is Luffy versus Lucci, that fight, and the other one is Gon's rage mode versus Pito. And
nice.
those apply in very specific moments where I feel like I'm drained and I can't keep going any further. And I just, especially whether it be at work, at the gym, anything, and there's just something about remembering those moments that just it literally sends a shiver down my spine every time. I mean, like I tell myself, you know what, this is a lot, but this is not the worst I can take. I can take, I can tolerate even more than that. And when I remember those times, like Luffy getting back up, or refusing to fall, actually, and then his final push against Lucci, it just really, really moves me. Same with Gon, where it's like I'm going to go absolutely berserk on this because that's what I need to do at this point in time. And just remembering that it gets me amped up, right?
Yeah.
And I've find that in recent years I do that a lot. I go back to those familiar nostalgic moments to kind of push me and drive me in certain situations. But I wouldn't say right now that I have like particular like any particular characters that I find, because something I've noticed, especially with more recent anime, is that like different characters in different shows, they're made to be more real, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like they don't feel like anime, they feel like real people. I mean, JJK is a great example of that, where everybody, they have uh, um, their own personalities, their own quirks, their own goals and ambitions. Right? And it's very clear. I mean, you can say that about One Piece too, but something about the setting of that world makes it seem a little bit more out there, right? A little bit more bombastic. But you got other things like, I don't know what else. There's a lot right now, and it's like I can't necessarily connect with them or relate to them because I feel like they're their own entities to a degree where maybe I can find certain elements here and there that I can use for myself, but for the most part, it's like, ah, now you do your own thing, and I'll
Yeah.
do my own thing, right? Shout out Miles, but
Yeah. That was a great scene
yeah,
in the latest Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
there's tons of I think that what you're saying is very valuable, the archetype, and it's something that, I've been learning in dance recently that like, how to harness the different archetypes, like the how to be the I guess the cute guy or the super macho masculine guy or the how to be the villain, how to be the hero,
hmm,
how to be the more innocent boy compared to the villain of a man who's like freaking Aizen.
yeah,
um and some of those archetypes can be great to tap into, and when you see them visually in an anime or another form of media, it can be a visual representation that can help you uh to kind of see how these things can be manifested in your life, and how to draw them in. I had a beautiful experience to my earlier point that I was making about like the way that like One Piece has recently been inspiring me or making me realize that I'm more of an extrovert than I might have thought when I was a kid. Um,
Mhm.
oh, there's a bit of an echo still. But yesterday at work, I was having a horrible day. Yeah, I don't remember why. Doesn't even matter. But I was having a horrible day, and you could notice it. On my face. I just wasn't as talkative. I'm usually the most talkative one there. Usually the one always like going up to everybody in the restaurant and making everybody trying to make everybody laugh or smile or something, saying some stupid joke. Um and and I guess for context, there's this new girl that's been working at the front, and she's pretty introverted. Usually I have to be the one that comes up to her, says, "Hey, what's up?" whatever. um but yesterday I was walking around and I was just so out of it. I was just so sad and down and out about something, and she comes up to me and she's like, "Are you okay? Like you look so sad. You look like so down and out." And then she starts like cracking a joke. We start like talking. Um and that hit me like, damn, holy hell, this person, they usually wouldn't go out of their way to talk to people. At least that's what I assume. That's what I gather from the way I know them. Um they come up and they're willing to do that. And then it's just a cascade. Everybody else in the restaurant slowly but surely starts coming up to me, trying to crack jokes, trying to, cheer me up. By the end of the night, I'm like lit up, everything is bright and sunny again for me. And that to me was just it was a it was a solidified representation in real life of what I've been meditating on because of One Piece recently and everything that's been happening. Um and I keep going back to that Nico Robin quote in Enia's lobby when oh man, what was the Marine's name? No, not Swanhorn Wolf. That's fucking from Blackbeard's Pirate. The
Fandom.
No, not him. The good one, the kind of giant that raised her a bit.
Oh, Saul. Jaguar di Saul.
Saul,
Yeah.
exactly, Jaguar de Saul. When he tells her, like, listen, one day you're gonna meet people who are gonna love you and protect you. You're gonna find friends. You're gonna find your nakama out there, and that's something again. Another quote that inspires me. Like I always think it to that moment as such an epic scene, and then you see the straw hats, and Nico Robin's looking at them, and Nico Robin, um, as a youth, you could say that she was an introvert, and in some ways, she still is like a kind of bookworm kept to herself. But with the Straw Hats, you could see how she's developed, and I feel like the more anime I absorb because it's such a complex medium, uh, the more I kind of learn about myself. I know it's definitely been a big thing with love, and I'm sure you can kind of testify to that with shows like Toradora and other romance shows. I know Your Name was big for me. It's a big thing.
Oh yeah, Your Name was. I mean, to this day, it's one of the most phenomenal movies. Period. Not just in anime, just like just
Yeah.
a work as a movie that is really spoken to me. Has a lasting impact. That and A Sound and Voice. That one made me feel emotions so strongly, so vividly. It was absolutely amazing. If anyone hasn't watched any of these movies, do yourself a favor, do that because it will definitely enhance your life in some way. But uh, going back to what you're saying, that's true. I mean, there's certain characters, especially where I may not draw that much from them, but they remind me of an aspect of my personality that I like. So, for example, remember Denji, our boy Denji from Chainsaw Man?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So his story is extremely tragic when you think about it, and where he came from having no parents, living in abject poverty, really, uh, and then through the devil hunting association finding a job, and kind of moving up in the world a little bit, right? And you see
Yeah.
the absolute gratitude he feels from the bottom of his heart, and how he finds a way to stay optimistic in most situations. There is a certain amount of strength in that. And as I've come to find out, not everybody is capable of that. I thought everybody was. I thought
Yeah.
it was just something like inherent that people can do. But I've had to learn that, it doesn't come to some as easily as it does to others. And when I see the adversities he's had to overcome, and like how it's built his character, I think of myself, right? And it makes me feel good, because I feel like, this is kind of how I am. In the hard times, I still find a way to keep fighting. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are times when, I'm only human. All of us. There are times when we feel overwhelmed and we feel like we need a break. We kind of need to get away from all of it before going back in. But for the most part, it's like I will stand my ground, and I will strive for a better life for myself, a better me. Right? I'll make sure that tomorrow's me is better than today's me. Right? And yeah, like that's what I meant when I was like, there's so many characters now in anime where they feel like their own individuals, but I can either draw inspiration from them or get reminded of, certain aspects of my character, my personality, that sometimes when you go through the day to day, it's easy to forget. And it's like, okay, yeah, I have certain attributes to myself that I should make sure not to forget about, because you know they help me. So
Yeah. And that's the beauty of anime. There's still new anime coming out. And there's still so much to see and absorb. And we're
oh
gonna keep
yeah.
keep developing, keep learning, It's that's like the beauty of this kind of art form.
And you know what? You remember that conversation we had about um, how to help people find a passion in life?
Yeah.
I've felt for a long time now that those people, they might benefit from watching anime, because I feel like they have it's a medium that has passion inherently woven into it. Like, I think back to certain things, like I mean, like everything we've listed, right? But even when you go to like sports anime, think of Haikyuu, or Slam Dunk, things like that, where you can see the passion that those characters have for what they do. You may not develop the same passion for that sport, but it will make you want to care about something on that level as well. And it can enrich your life like that. Like, I remember the first
Yeah.
time I watched Eye Shield 21. I don't know if you heard of that.
No,
Uh,
what's that? When did that come
it's
out?
super old. It came out years ago. Like probably before 2010. I forget how old it is, but it's from it's from Yusuke Murata, the artist for One Punch Man.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. He put that out a long time ago, but it's about American football. So the story is this kid, he gets bullied all the time, but one thing that he has going for him is his speed. Like, he can run really fast, and he can make wild cuts really fast as well, which those are standout traits in running backs. So the football team of his school, they notice him. They're like, "Hey, you got innate talent for this stuff. Come over here. Let's train. Let's get you up to snuff. If you're going to be running away from bullies, you might as well run towards a goal, right? Make something of it." So the story just basically follows his journey of becoming a football player. When I tell you, I went from damn near hating American football because I feel like the name is a disrespect to football. But I went from hating it to being fascinated by it, and I started understanding some of the rules a little bit better because that's just what anime does. Like it has a way of portraying certain just regular aspects of life that you don't really think are all that, but then they enhance it. Have you noticed how like food, for example, looks so much better in anime for whatever reason?
Yeah.
It's just that kind of medium where it just makes life more vivid, right? More alive almost. It's as weird as it is to say, and you experience emotions on a higher level almost.
Yeah.
So I feel like for people who are looking for something to be passionate about, just I don't know, go on Netflix, get a Crunchyroll account. I don't know, just boot up some random anime, and you'll get like this is how random it gets. So I was on Netflix, right,
Yeah.
and I saw this anime. It talks about it's like Delicious in Dungeon. It is I'm not even gonna talk about it too much right now because it's so freaking silly, and yet I ended up watching like 2 full episodes of it just on a whim. Like I just saw, I'm like, what is this? And I watched 2 episodes. I'm like, oh, yo, anime is dangerous, bro. There's so much out of it that can suck you in so easily because that's just the kind of medium it is. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny how that
And
works out.
I know an anime that was super inspirational to me was Clannad, and I'll kind of end on this because we got to keep it short. I really got to go in the next few minutes, but Clannad, um, it and this is to the basically to the same point I've been making, which is, I mean, it's something I've been meditating on a lot. One of the most, I guess, weighty things or emotional or things that stuck with me from Clannad was the after story. Now, big spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Clannad, watch it. It's one of the best anime I've ever watched. Um, at the end of it all, seeing all of the characters that the main MC had met throughout the years and made friends with, um, seeing them all go through their separate walks of life and just going through life and seeing them become successful and everything, and with the OG opening music playing and seeing their reunion, it really got me thinking, like a very simple thought. It just got me thinking, like, I want that, you know? I want to have that with friends where, no matter how far you are in life, um, we're still friends. And when we reunite, it'll be like the first time again. And they had been through a lot, uh, children, deaths, uh, good experiences and bad throughout the entirety of the anime. But at the end of it all, it was this beautiful thing to see how far they've come, starting the anime with them in high school, just like bumbling around like idiots, and then fast forward to them as adults, and some of like they're all made. One way or another, they're all made in life, and life is good for them, and that's the most important thing, and that's something that I've been meditating on a lot. So I'll leave with that. Clanad was a huge inspiration to me with the way that I think about how life should be, and yeah. What do you have any kind of closing thoughts, Teddy, for
Oh no,
the?
I mean, it kind of was like a masterpiece, really a work of art. And it broke me. I refuse to experience that again because that I don't think that I'm prepared for that again. Maybe I will at some point, but right now I'm like it's too much emotionally. It's a lot, but I love it. So yeah, like I said, man, it's a source of inspiration and passion, and I feel like the same way that we say music, there's music for everyone out there. I feel like there's anime for everyone out there as well.
Yeah, that's true. So, but I think we're preaching to the choir. I hope that most people that are watching this are anime fans. But if you're not, hopefully we put you on, and you realize that anime can be something that's very inspirational, very deep and insightful, and
Mm.
something you can learn from. Because I feel like all art forms are like that, and anime is just another art form in the vast sea that is art. Um, but yeah, I guess with that we hit the nail on the head. This has been the pursuit of anime. We got to go. It had to be a short one. But we will hit you back next week, hopefully for a much longer one, like last week was. and with a awesome topic yet again. Thank you again for joining us, everybody. If you feel inclined to do so, make sure to leave a like and a subscription, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.